Big win against Wolves after a terrible first half, but I think one of the biggest takeaways we could take away from today is that surely Darwin Nunez has to start for Liverpool from now on. I get today why Luis Diaz didn't start, because all the South American lads, they only had, they came back last night or so, but I think as these games are going on, and especially, the Newcastle game might have been an outlier, but also seen in the Villa game, Darwin Nunez surely has to get a run of games where he's our starting number 9 at the moment. And that's not to, diminish Cody Gakpo, because I think he's a great player. I really like him. And if anything, I think he could work well in that midfield at the moment, because it looks pretty wide open, despite, Szoboszlai playing quite well. I think McAllister struggled a bit today, and that's why he got yanked off at half time. But I think Darwin Nunez, he just offers that just dynamic play up front now, and you saw it when him and Diaz came on in the second half. They changed the game, didn't they? I mean, first of all, Diaz, is he our best player at the moment? I know on paper Salah is, but he'd probably be my number 1 star on the team sheet at the moment. He's fantastic, and he just offers so much. But talk about Darwin Nunez, he just always looks bang up for it, and he looked at last season and he looked great, but he just couldn't, finish. He couldn't finish really. But now, if you look at him, he's sorting out his finishing a bit, so surely he has to get a run of games. I read last year that Klopp didn't fancy him due to his pressing, and that's why he put him on the left wing, or he mixed about with it a bit, but just from the eye test, I personally can't see, he's not a lazy player, and I know there's more technicality to pressing than just running about a lot, but to me, I think he works well in midfield. I think he puts a lot of pressure on the defenders, and I can't see why he can't get a run of games. And I think it will come as we go into the season more, because, like I say, Gakpo, fantastic, but our best front three is Diaz, Nunez and Salah, because there are so many goals in that front three, there's so much creativity, and even if Salah's having one of his invisible games, but not great, you always know Nunez and Diaz are on the pitch because they're so involved. And then with them two being so involved, it releases more space for Salah to get in those tap-ins that he's always in the right place at the right time. So I can't see. It's a tough one, because I completely see where Klopp's coming from. He's got Diogo Jota, who's fantastic, that little poacher, and he's got Gakpo, who essentially, he seems like he's trying to rebuild Firmino with Gakpo, and I can see it. I think he's fantastic, and there's not a bad choice, because if Gakpo and Jota, played the rest of that Wolves game, I think we probably still would have won. But I don't know, to me, that front three has to be on from now on. I mean, the rest of the game, the first half was just terrible, wasn't it? I mean, I feel bad for Gomez in that right back position, because he just looked nowhere near it. Neto had him on ropes all game, well, probably until 60 minutes or so. And I thought first half was terrible, really. We had a few chances, but realistically, midfield was nowhere near it, defence was nowhere near it. And it just looked terrible, and it's just frustrating that we start these away games so slow and let them have the first goal. And I think when you play a better team, you won't be able to get back into the game, because if Cunha scores that one that went across the box where he kind of headed it but kneed it at the same time, then it's over, and I don't really think you'd be getting back into that game. However, second half change, McAllister comes off, Harvey Elliott comes on, Diaz comes on, Nunez comes on, and completely changed the game. We just went at them, and it doesn't, we still had those defensive deficiencies, because for Kwanzaa, I think he had a good game. He's very young still, and he looked a bit out of sorts in the first 20 minutes or so. He was getting dragged to that left-hand side with Robertson. But I think he settled down a bit, and he had a fairly good game, especially for, our young years. But to me, Matip, he can't be playing anymore. He's not good enough for me. I love him. I think he's one of the best centre-backs we've had in the last 15, 20 years. But he was never quick in his heyday, but his legs just seem to have gone. And you see that first goal where Neto just passed it round him and hit it across the box. It was just so simple. And it could have happened to anyone, yes, but unfortunately I saw a lot of that last season with Matip, and I think it's probably his last season at Liverpool. But other than that, I think it was a good game, and I think it proved that Liverpool this season, last year, that would have, Wolves, they beat us last season in that kind of fashion. So good progress, and it's exciting to see, especially these young attacking players that we got at the moment. But you let me know who you think should start. I mean, is there a wrong decision? Probably not. Nunez is just what I want to see in a striker. He's always bang up for it, and it's just what you want to see. If you say Gakpo, that's completely fair enough. I'd go for him as well. He is great. He's more technically gifted than Nunez, and he seems to link up the play better. So it's just preference, really. But to me, if we are going to just smash teams out of the park this year, which I think we're going to have to do because the defence has its holes, then it's got to be Diaz, Nunez, and Salah. But yeah, if you can comment on this video, that'd be great. If you can leave a like, fantastic. And if you want to subscribe, that'd be brilliant. But yeah, see you next time.